Right, so now we have all the elements we need to plan out our Matariki model. This is when your wiring diagram becomes really important because you will have organized and worked out all the problems that you need to solve to make sure the wiring will actually work without creating any shortcuts. And my tip would be to say to make sure that you, for example, if we have a whole bunch of tilted and turned objects like this, that you make sure that round the outside of your model are all the positives or all the negatives. It doesn't matter which way around you do it. And if you make sure that you organize these LED mounting bars such that all the negative terminals are on the inside, or it's going to make it easy for you. What you don't want is anything crossing over. So with that in mind, let's just turn this back to normal, and let's turn on the Matariki model underneath, and we can use this to start aligning things. So let's click on turn on. There it is there. So all you need to do now is simply copy, and I'll just do a few of these and you can work it out for yourself. So let's say, for example, you wanted this over here. We can make a copy of this, and we could simply put, so let's just zoom in a little bit. This is going to go roughly over the star here, and you might think that's a bit close, because they are close, and you can click on these and you can turn them. So let's just come over to here. I'm going to turn this one possibly. So I'm going to turn this, give myself a bit of space. I'm going to turn this one, give myself a bit of space and put that there like that. And then I'll just do one more, and I'll put this one over here, and maybe we decide we want to have this one vertical like this. And I'll do one more and put this over here like that. And so we can use this to model and make our objects all fit together, or lay them all out so the LEDs will be over the exact space where the stars are in the constellation. And I'll leave you to work it all out. And this is when this red bar becomes really important. So now we want to spin this through 90 degrees, and I'm going, whoops, I'm going to now use this bar to connect these together, and I can just simply drag these across like that, make sure they fit. Yes, I can do drag another one, and I can make it fit like this, and I'm just going to drag this. We don't have to measure these, just need to make sure they fit. So they're all connecting together, and I'll just drag this one. This one needs to be much smaller, I think, and probably need to just turn it a bit right about there. Drag this into here like that. All fits together. So there we can add all these together and make them fit together, and you can carry on and do all 9 of yours. Now if we just check through here, we can see I can go positive, 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 and go down all the way down to here. We go negative, 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 and we need to think about getting down to the negatives down here. So you need to think about how to make that work. And then your object would be ready to export, but we're not ready to go yet. We've got one more thing to do, which is create the battery holder. So obviously when you're finished, when you're ready to go, you need to make this one object. But if you select, you need to, you're going to create the Matariki object in there at the same time. So when you're finished, what you'll need to do is you'll need to click on this Matariki object here, and you'll need to delete it. So it's locked, so I need to unlock it and then delete it, and it's hidden, it's gone now. And I can now group my object ready for exporting. It's not, obviously this is not finished. I'm going to group it. One single object, this is what's going to print out. Obviously it'll have everything connected together, and we're ready to export. I will show you how to do that in a moment, and we will export it. But I'm just going to Command Z out of here because we've got another thing to do, and I will put my Matariki back in again. I'm going to show you now how to create the battery holder, which is a very important project. So let's show you how to do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create the battery holder, and it depends on what kind of battery pack you're going to use. You're going to have to measure and design your own. Obviously, if you're using a battery pack from some other devices like a microbit battery 3-volt battery holder, then you'll need to work out how to connect that. I'm going to show you how to use a 3-volt watch battery, and we're going to make a 3-volt watch battery holder. So we're just going to work on that. So we're I'm going to hide all of these things to start with. I'm just going to select all of these, and I'm just going to hide them because I want to work in some space, and we'll come back to those in a moment. So again, the first thing we need to do is we're going to work with a cylinder, and I know the dimensions. I've measured the dimensions of a 3-volt battery watch, and that it is 20 millimeters in diameter. So I need to make a case that's bigger than that, and I'm going to make mine 25 millimeters in diameter. There we are, done. And now I need to chop it in half. So I'm going to grab a cube, and I'm just going to make it, first of all I need to make this only, made it not tall enough, so it's just to put it this way. I only need it to be, I'm going to make mine 5 millimeters, that's all we need. It's as thick as the rest of it. And I'm just going to come back to here, and I'm going to drag this down so as it's halfway, so that's about there. That's all we need. Turn that into a circle, that's good. So, and I'm going to highlight that into a hole, sorry, and I'm going to combine them or group them, which will chop my object in half. So now what I need to do is I need to put a hole in this that I can slot my pencil, my watch battery into. So I'm going to drag this one out, a circular one, and now this is 20 millimeters diameter, that's what we need. But I also now need to make the height of it the depth of my battery holder, and I know my battery holder is 3.14 millimeters thick, so I'm going to make that there. So we just need to move things around so we can have a look at things, and I want to move this so it is in the center. So I'm going to highlight those like this. I'm going to click on here, and I want it in the center. That works at the center for me, and then I need it to be central like that. And then finally what we need to do is slide it in so it's about, click off this, and we're going to slide this in so it's about halfway. And what you can do is, if you make this object transparent, you can just move things around. We want them to be central, so let's highlight both of those again, click on here, and we want them to be central. Yep, that's about right, that's all we need. And what we need to do is finish that so that looks like it's going to fit nicely. Click on here, and we're going to make that a solid again, and we're just going to highlight the two of them like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to now make a hole in the center there by joining them there. And so now I've made a pocket for my battery to sit in here. Now we need to make some contacts, contact slots on here, and what we're going to do is we're going to make some holes in here. So let's just make this on top, and you'll see what I'm going to do in a moment. Now I'm going to just make a little wire, a hole for wires. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to make this, my wire is going to be 1 millimeter, so make one, and make the other one 1. Okay, and we just need to center those together, and I'm going to center them, cool, and then I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Let's just put everything in the center here. That'll do. And I want it to be, perhaps we'll make this, yeah, that should be good. I'm just going to make a little dip so I can actually bend some wire in, and you'll see how that's going to work in a moment. So you'll push wire in between the times to make contact on either side, front and back. So let's just make sure that's going to go all the way through. And nope, we need it to come this way slightly, so I just want to, there we go, that's all we need. Yep, that's fine, it doesn't have to be accurate, it's just that diameter, so you've got a hole here, highlight those two. Oh, first of all, no, I've made a mistake. I need to make a copy of this. So I'll just get this one out of the way. I don't want that one to have a hole. And let's combine those. There we go. So now we've got a hole, and I've printed off, I've got this second copy here because those little batteries can be a choking hazard. So what you can do is you print off this top half, and when you've wired everything up and you connected your wire through here and you made a positive and negative contact by either side of the battery, you can pop this over the top and you can fit them together like this so the battery won't slip out, and then you can tape them together with some sellotape so the battery doesn't come out of there, and it keeps the battery safe. So what we need to do now is we need to reveal everything else. Let's hide everything else. Whoops. Right, so here we go. Here's our shapes. This one needs to be printed off separately, and we need to connect this somewhere down here or in space wherever you've got. By the time you've finished all your connecting together, you need to join this together. So it doesn't really matter how you do this. You can put it down here if you wish to. You just need to make sure that when your model is completed, you've given enough space to make sure that you can put the cap on. So in this case we might put it over here, so you've got plenty of space to put the cap on when you come to do that, but we're going to print that off separately. And you can just now use this tool to, whoops, make that 3 again, remember, and we can just connect this up to here. We can drag this down to here. We can make this stick on here, and you can just basically work out how you want to make this join together by creating more of these lines and rods and make your design fit. You just need to make sure that you can get your cap in here and so it fits on top, and put sellotape over the top, and you left enough space. So probably what we want to do here is we probably want to do something like this. Copy this, and we want to shorten this back to 3. Probably make this only a few millimeters long. Let's make this 3 again. It's a little cube. We put this on the end here like this, so that this, and what we might do is copy this, join those two together, and put this on here like this, so we've got space. Let's just that's all good. And then we will probably have another object like this, drag this across to here, join that onto there, and there we go. And so now there's going to be enough space to put your battery on and your clip on top, so that's nice and connected, and you've got a hole in there. So that's how you put all your Matariki stuff together. So once you've finished with your model, you'll have, and we'll make some pins in a moment. When it's all ready, you group it. Remember, you've got to delete this model before you export it. Obviously you'd have everything connected. You'll have 9 LEDs sorted, but you can see how you can fix all this together. Don't forget, you're going to combine and join everything together so it's one model, so it all prints together. There we go, all done. That's going to print off. And now, with the extra bits here, you can export it, and you export it as an STL file. And mine's called the Fantabulous Alias. What I recommend you do is you come up here, you click on it, you put your name in. So I'm going to call mine DK Matariki, so you know whose model it is, and then you export it as an STL and download it, and it's ready to go to your slicing software and to be printed. Next video I'm going to show you how to make your little pins to go in the holes to make your solderless connections.